Welcome to this month's regulatory mindset discussion, where we explore leadership mindset concepts relevant to regulators. Last month, you'll recall, we focused on aligning our why with that of the organization or the board that we're serving on. This month, we're going to focus on various perspectives that volunteers bring to their roles as board members and ways to keep these perspective hats on straight in decision-making responsibilities that you may have in your service role for your organization. One of the most interesting experiences is that of joining an existing group, especially when the specific process for your joining that group is through an appointment. Presumably, you submitted some type of application for the position, yet there are still facets of volunteer service in board member roles that really require a rather steep learning curve and a rapid adjustment. Not unlike a fish tank, as one member is added, there tends to be a scuttle of sorts that occurs for the entire group. New members are coming on, bringing new energy, and there are new roles then for those who are already on the board who may be moving into roles that other members have vacated. Boards are not generally static if an organization is growing and evolving, and there's always something then for you to learn, to grow into, and to do. And that's probably one of the most important aspects related to board service. And that's that the experience is always evolving. This makes keeping one's regulatory hat on straight sometimes an extra special challenge. Think about all the different experiences and credentials that make up you. Take a moment. I'm going to list off a few, but maybe jot down those perspectives that have been a part of your journey. Part of your journey here in terms of your board membership. To get here, you may have been a consumer, you may have been a provider, you may still be a provider, you may be an expert on a care area, you may be familiar with various professional areas, you may be competent in a certain or specific standard of a practice. Certainly, you will have ethics and act with integrity. You may have a really unique understanding of a workforce or a market. But you also may have a personal opinion or a professional opinion. You may be a family member or a friend. You may be a colleague or a neighbor. You may be a teacher, a supervisor, a consultant, a confidant, maybe an armchair lawyer. You may be an author or a researcher. You may be an administrator, a licensee. You are a volunteer on a board. You may be a committee member. But what common theme runs throughout all of these experiences and journeys and credentials that bring us to board service is that we're a board member. We're a regulatory board member. We're an organizational board member. And that, above all else, is what I want you to be focused on for the rest of this conversation. As you prepare for board meetings, committee meetings, or even the work of the board, if you serve in that capacity, the top strategy to implement to ensure that your perspective is grounded in the work that the board is doing is really akin to a firefighter suiting up to face a fire, or an astronaut suiting up for a launch, or even a police dog vesting up for a search and rescue mission. Each of these lives have another life behind them without the uniform. But when suited up, the role and the mission are crystal clear. So, how do we put on our crystal clear hat for our board service? One of the easiest strategies is to read and really memorize, take in the purpose and the mission of your board prior to embarking upon any activity or task at hand, each and every time you go to embark upon it. So, what is the organization or board mission for the board that you serve on? Is it to regulate the practice of something, some profession in the interest of, or to preserve and protect the health, safety, and welfare of a public? Is it to serve the public? If you have a challenging decision to make, coming back to this mission statement may serve you and your board colleagues extremely well. You can then consider the decision to be based upon what would provide the best outcome for that mission. So, the best outcome for the health, safety, and welfare of the public. That's in contrast to what might be the best outcome for you as a person, you as a board member, you as a professional, or a colleague, or a neighbor, or a consumer, or another licensee. But it's the best outcome for you in your role as protector of the public. Consider that vest or robe that you may don in this very important role that you serve. There are 3 strategies you can put into place right away to be intentional with your mindset as a board member. First, look up and commit to memory the mission of your board or organization. Second, begin your actions of service reminding yourself of that mission statement. And third, when you are challenged by decisions in your role, revisit that mission statement, visualize yourself in the suit that you can step into to be confident in your mission as a board member. Our vision at the Atkinson firm is Minds Shared. Our why is to inspire the regulatory community through the education of government and relevant stakeholders to promote regulatory excellence. Join me next time when we will explore how to navigate when you may have a potential bias in your perspective.